I guess with epic-sounding last names starting with Z comes great responsibility, which is exactly what Zoger and Zdenek try to tackle in their work on cultural literacy in captioning. Admittedly, they both approach the topic with different backgrounds and directives, but the issue still stands. What does a subtitler or captioner do when there is a reference that one culture made that another might not understand? In Zoger's work, she is approaching it from the cultural references made from wide swaths of cultural differences, such as ones coming from France and heading to America, or vice versa. There are many countries that will not understand many other cultures' references, but last time I checked, all of us make movies, and otherwise related content. Suddenly, when the film is traveling overseas, it becomes the subtitler's job to help us understand it. Zdenek approaches the same subject but with a smaller audience, namely just Americans, because they are the kind of cultural references he knows and can spot when a captioner has missed. The key to acquiring cultural literacy is for captioners consuming a lot of pop culture, past and present, from movies to music to television shows. Cultural literacy demands that readers possess broad but not necessarily deep cultural knowledge. Some of the examples he gives are the 5 tones in Close Encounters of the Third Kind used to communicate with the aliens, or the song entitled I've Got a Golden Ticket from Willy Wonka, which is featured in Family Guy. He shows indications, mostly in comedy shows, that are made to these very famous references, and these specific memorable sound bites of them. They are supposed to call to memory a certain associated emotion, and would only be recognized if a viewer, or a captioner, were familiar with the sources from which they originally came from. Zoger talks about how this is important with wider scale audiences as well. She references a gentleman by the name of Behar, who had translated many movies from English to French, but recounted his difficult experience when he encountered the American slang in the film Boys in the Hood. One of his most difficult moments is when Ice Cube's character wants to leave the neighborhood, so he turns and says, 5,000. Behar knew this translation, 5,000, would mean nothing to its French audiences, and found out later that 5,000 was a reference to the phrase Audi 5000, which was a car known for its lurching unintended acceleration, making this urban phrase mean, I'm leaving, or I'm Audi here. Zoger says in her article, due to the technical restrictions of the medium itself, problems of untranslatability, i.e. cultural references for which no similar items exist in the target culture and or which are unknown to the majority of the target audience, must be tackled without any get-out-of-prison card whatsoever. In subtitling, there is no room for footnotes, explanations in the foreword, asterisks, or asides. When I first watched Japanese anime, there were a number of cultural differences that I had to pick up on in order to understand a lot of the other series. There is the nosebleed, which is apparently a Japanese way of saying that characters are having perverted thoughts. There are often times when characters compare each other's names to foods or other words, when oftentimes, to English-speaking viewers, their Japanese names sound nothing alike. This is because many Japanese names are read multiple different ways using the symbols their names are written in. There are so many cultural differences, whether between countries or within societies, that require our constant attention and focus, especially when considered in the world of helping those who need captions.